Hello and welcome. I'm really excited today to introduce you to our latest offering from LawCLERK called Hourly Associate. And it's pretty much just what it sounds like, but we're really excited. This is by far the #1 thing that busy attorneys all across the country have been asking us for quite a while now. And we're really glad to have something new to offer you, a new tool to help you get more work done. So I'm Kristen Tyler. I'm one of the co-founders at LawCLERK. I am also a practicing attorney, and my background is in trust and estates. So I know a lot of the pain points you feel in trying to juggle the challenges of life and a law practice and staff and clients and getting legal work done. I mean, like the actual work, it's a lot. And so that's really why we started LawCLERK and why we strive every day to give you more resources to get work done. So, all right, today we are going to share our latest flexible resource, Hourly Associate. But for those of you who are already familiar with LawCLERK, I want to review the other current ways you can get work done and also just give that information for anyone who may just be discovering LawCLERK for the first time. So from day one of our history, we have offered you project-based work. A project is exactly what it sounds like. You have one piece of work, one very distinct piece of work that you need help on from another attorney. So you would log into your LawCLERK account, post a project. That could be any sort of a written document, a research memo, a letter, some sort of a motion, a brief, a lease, a deed. You get the drift. Anything written, you would log in, post that as one single project, and that work was paid on a flat fee price that you set. Easy peasy. It's a great way for people to get work done. And even with Hourly Associate, you can always still go back to projects and post those as needed. Now, 2 years ago, at the start of 2021, we rolled out our subscription program. With subscriptions, you are able to access a deeper level of talent on an ongoing monthly basis. It starts at 30 hours a month at a set hourly rate. You're matched with one dedicated remote associate. So you're working with the same person all the time, and they're committing to be available for you for that set block of hours. Again, this is for the written work, but we do allow for additional work beyond just written work for subscriptions of 40 hours or more. We call that our full associate option. So if you need help with someone attending court appearances, depositions, meeting with clients, et cetera, those types of work that would cause an attorney to engage in the practice of law, then you would want to look at our subscription program, 40 hours a month or more with a full associate. And that's something we could talk about too. But, we kind of go a long way from just a project to a subscription like that. There's kind of a gap in between. And that's what we were striving to fill with our Hourly Associate. So it's exactly what it sounds like. This is a program that allows you to get work when you need it in a very flexible way and pay the freelance lawyer by the hour for that work. Hourly Associate is without a doubt going to be a game changer. We launched this on Tuesday, and within 4 hours, we had our first one live already. Like, this is something that I think attorneys are going to get because as much as we can at times hate the billable hour, we also love it. And it's made our law firms very successful and productive for a lot of years. And so lawyers are used to working by the hour, and it makes sense for us to provide you with an hourly option just like this. So I've already kind of alluded, Hourly Associate really kind of fits in the middle between a single project, one piece of work, very distinct, this project, and the full commitment of a subscription. And I hope my hands are on the same ways as the words as I'm saying them. But Hourly Associate fills the gap. It is the middle project that allows you to still work with one person in a committed one-on-one working relationship on an ongoing basis, paying them hourly as you send them work. And, some weeks or months that might be just a few hours. Other weeks or months, it might be a lot of hours. It can ebb and flow with you. And that's a really exciting thing for me. And I think it will be for you too. Okay, getting work done with Hourly Associate. There's all sorts of things that you can get done with this. This is, again, geared only for the written work. So there are no court appearances or things like that. This is for research, discovery, drafting documents, etc. There's a lot of ways that we can foresee busy attorneys tapping into this as a resource to get more work done. Maybe you have seasonal demands. Do you always have a big year-end rush, or where you need help for a couple of months to push through that time period, and you could use someone on an hourly basis for a couple of months? This is a great resource. Does your litigation practice kind of ebb and flow as most do, where, when you're gearing up for trial and in trial, you're super busy, you need a lot of help, but then if a case suddenly settles, it can drop off. This again can be a very flexible way for you to get help that can bend and mold with you and your firm's needs as time goes on. Or do you maybe have a sudden demand where it's like, oh my gosh, we just got this new client, this new deal, we have to close it by the end of the quarter. We only have, 60 days, 75 days to go through due diligence. We need all hands on deck and we need more hands to get through this deal. That's another great way to tap into the talent of our freelancers, use them on an hourly basis, pay them on an hourly basis to get that work done and do it very well for your client. Or really any firm, whether you're a solo, a small firm, medium firm, etc. There's always times where you just need another lawyer around to help out, and that need can come and go. And so that's why there really are endless possibilities for how our hourly associate option could benefit a lot of law firms. Okay, so if you're like me, you're like, okay, I want to see it. So now I want to go over and give you a quick demo just to show you kind of what this looks like. And as we're going through this, certainly if you have questions, if you want to drop those in the chat or the Q&A box, I will come back and get those a little bit later on. But let me go find my screen to do a little demo for you. Where's my Windows screen? There it is. Okay. All right. So you are hopefully already familiar with LAWCLERK.legal. That's where you can find us. I wanted to highlight a couple of new resources to help give you additional information about this hourly product. So if you go into solutions, we have a whole page going through a lot of the same information we're going to talk through today, but so that's under solutions. And also on our FAQs, we have a whole FAQ page just for hourly. Okay, so some of these things, if you're like, what did she say about this? If you come back to these FAQs, you're going to find a lot of answers here. But it's a really user-friendly interface. I'm going to go ahead and log in to my hiring attorney account here and just show you what it would entail. So you can see here that on our dashboard, it's been updated. So you're going to see your projects. You're still going to see your subscriptions if you have those. You're going to see your teams if you've built out a team. That's kind of like your roster of your favorite freelancers. But now you're also going to see hourly. And so when you start a new hourly opportunity, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to give it a title, like I need an hourly associate to help with a growing probate practice in Oregon for approximately 40 hours a month. So you tag the areas of law. I just want to kind of briefly show you. You're going to write out a description about what this looks like. The bigger description, the better. About how long you think this engagement is going to go on. Is it a 1 to 3 month deal to get you through the end of the year or get you through a big trial, or is this open-ended? That's a good thing to share. You're going to give them a rough idea of how many hours of help you need a month. Do you think it's 40 to 60 or more? This helps them gauge if they have enough time to give to you, if your needs and what they can provide match up. So you're going to give information about the max hours per week that you'll allow without approving additional overtime hours, the level of experience you need, time zone preference, and then you'll set your hourly rate. Okay. Just like anything in life, you're going to get what you pay for. Be mindful of your market, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. And then one of my favorite things here is if you do have someone on your team you've worked with before that you really like, that maybe you've spoke with them and said, hey, I want to get you on an hourly basis, you could send it directly to them and just connect and get going. So if you have someone you've worked with in the past that you have in mind as an hourly associate, you can do that. But if you don't have someone in mind, you're going to go to our marketplace. Fantastic. It grows every day. There's more and more talent. And you are able at the last stage of this, posting this opportunity to try to find someone, you can provide a customized detailed question or questions. We've noticed that a lot of our attorneys posting these are including multiple questions. And then the freelancers are able to draft very customized, detailed responses back to you. And we're finding that's really helping attorneys connect with the right person quickly by utilizing this detailed Q&A where you can create your own custom question to help screen the applicants, okay? So this is what it looks like. Once you post it, applicants are going to look a lot like they do when you post a project. It's all very user-friendly. And of course, we are happy to help walk you through that. If you need any help, talk to your advisor at LawClerk, reach out to our support team. We're here for you. All right, let's go back now. We've done our demo, and I'm going to go through a few more details, and then oh, okay, the chat's disabled. I'm sorry. What's going on there? Let me go try to fix that for you guys real quick. Out here. Everyone. Let me go see. Can read this. Oh, there. Yeah, you're right. It was off. I'm sorry for the break here, guys. Okay, that's fixed. All right. Okay, so we've talked through the demo. Let's talk now about how does the billing work? How do time and payments work? Because it's a little bit different than projects and subscriptions. So with the hourly associate program, you're going to set up and start your account as a hiring attorney. Again, all of this is aimed for you folks that are busy hiring attorneys. You're going to set up an account and pay a retainer. Your retainer is going to be the greater of $2,000 or your set number of max weekly hours times the hourly rate. So if you set the max hours at 30 and you're paying someone $100 an hour, then your retainer amount would be $3,000. It's the greater of 2,000 or that calculation. Okay. Oh, that is super weird that one came after two. Didn't do that when I rehearsed. So we already talked about that. You will set up your account with hourly associate with the retainer payment. Note that this retainer payment is evergreen. Hopefully you're familiar with that, meaning that it will be replenished as it's used, and it reloads every Monday if your hourly associate has done work for you the week prior. If they haven't done any work, if you're slowed down, that's fine. You're not going to be charged. It will just sit there until you need it again. So how does this billing flow work? Okay, this chart may look a little bit confusing, but it does a good job of explaining it. So let's say you put up your post, you find the right hourly associate, you connect. In week one, you are charged that Monday. We set up your account, or whatever day, before week one, we get you started, and then they start work for you. They bill hours. They have to have their hours submitted to LawClerk through the portal by the end of the day, Sunday. Monday rolls around, both of you are going to receive a time card, and that's your chance to look at it, see if there's any errors, questions, anything that needs to be fixed. Maybe they worked 2.7 hours on a research project for you, but they accidentally billed 22.7, and you're like, wait, that doesn't look right. I didn't approve that overtime. How much did you really work? That's your chance to go back and forth with them and correct that and let us know what the correct number of hours are. Regardless, whatever work they did perform the prior week, your account will be reloaded on Monday of week 2. We can always make an adjustment if we need to, but your account will be reloaded on Monday of week 2 and then week 3 if they keep doing work. But you have until Friday of week 2 to review their time card from week 1, and then let us know if there's any adjustments we need to make. And then if that's all finalized, the hourly associate, the freelancer, will be paid on Monday of week 3. Okay, this is in the FAQs too, and of course we're always happy to go back through this with you if you're confused about the timing of, when you paid, when they get paid, what hours were approved, and it's all available to you on your dashboard screen. You can see at any point in time how many hours they've entered into the system, how many are left before you're going to hit your max, and you can, keep an eye on that to see if you need to approve any overtime or whatnot. Okay, I kind of mentioned on this a little bit, but any disputes. So LawClerk is not going to resolve work product disputes. Certainly there may be times that you and your hourly associate have a difference of opinion if this document they drafted for you is what you wanted or not, but realistically, it's probably a situation where you two need to work together, maybe give them some more data or feedback, and they'll go back and rework the document for you. And there might be an hours adjustment that needs to be made. But again, with hours, we're looking to you to mutually resolve that and then let us know. So if you say, hey, we talked about, this week and agreed that rather than billing 8 hours for this motion, it's only appropriate for her to bill 6. So please make an adjustment on our account. We'll do that. So this is kind of how that's going to work. Of course, if there's an egregious, abuse of this, we're going to step in and help you out. If your hourly associate bills you 10 hours for a motion and they send you a 1-page document, like that doesn't add up. But we luckily are not seeing those types of problems in our subscription program. But just know something highly unusual happens. we're going to step in to help you resolve it and keep work flowing. Okay. Now, I mentioned also a little bit about overtime. So with overtime, as I showed you earlier, you will set a max hours per week. That's kind of your safety net so that you know you're not suddenly going to get a surprise bill for, 40 hours in 1 week when you only pre-approved 20 hours per week as your max. That being said, because we know your workflow can ebb and flow and increase and decrease, if you have a time where you want and need them to work additional hours beyond that weekly max, you can approve that in writing. It's important for the freelancers to know they are only paid for approved overtime. And once the two of you have agreed to approve some overtime work and payment, you just need to let us know. The email address for that is vabilling@lawclerk.legal. And we're suggesting to the freelancers, the hourly associates, that as a courtesy to you, once you work that all out, it would sure be nice if they could take a minute and drop us that email and handle that for you, because it's certainly in their best interest to make sure they're going to get paid. So trying to find some ways to make this easier for you. That's overtime. Scope of work, again, with hourly associate, it's only written work. Okay, it's no appearance work. If you need appearance work, then we need to look at a subscription for you. And, maybe you want to test someone out with some hourly work, see what their written work's like. It's a good indicator of how they may perform in other appearance type work. It could evolve into a subscription that would allow for some appearance work, but with hourly associate, it's written work only. Okay. A few more FAQs that a lot of people ask. The conflict check for work done through hourly associate is done very similar to the way it's done with a project. It's built into the LawClerk system when you're assigning them work, super easy. Malpractice insurance or professional liability insurance. Because the hourly associates are not engaging in the practice of law, they're not required to carry their own insurance. You as the supervising attorney are responsible for that, just the way it's been with projects for several years. Okay. $1 million question here, literally. How to make money with hourly associate. If you've ever attended one of our other webinars, you've probably heard me talking about the fact that according to the ethics rules, the model rules, all the specific rules of every state, attorneys are allowed to bill the work of a freelance lawyer or an hourly associate to their client at a reasonable market rate. So the key here is a reasonable market rate. And what does that mean? It can mean a lot of different things. It's dependent on your geographic location, your market. If you are in New York City, you're going to be billing a much higher hourly rate than if you're in my small hometown in the middle of Nebraska. It's going to depend on your practice area. Some practice areas charge a higher market rate. It's going to depend on the experience level of your hourly associate. If you hire someone 2 years out of law school, the rate should be a lot lower than someone who's been practicing 10, 15 years or more. So this can obviously vary widely. A good resource for you if you're not sure what an hourly rate should be for the work that you're having your hourly associate do would be go check out the Clio Legal Trends report that just came out for 2022. For the first time ever, they included some really in-depth details and data on hourly rates by practice areas across the country. So that's a great resource if you're not sure where to find that and how to approach that. Okay, so let's go through an example. Let's say you connect with an hourly associate and you're paying $140 an hour for their work, okay? The reasonable market rate based on their experience level and your market and your practice area, all those things you determine is $300 an hour. So let's say you're assigning them 20 hours of work. You could bill it to the client at $300 an hour. So it's $6,000 you're billing the client. You're paying LawClerk for that associate's work, $2,800. Of course, we handle all the payment processing and tax reporting to those freelancers. This means this alone, this 20-hour block of work, which can happen quickly, would result in an additional $3,200 profit to your firm. Okay, if you did this 20 hours of extra work every month for a year, over 12 months, that would be over $38,000 additional revenue to your firm with no added overhead. Okay, if you did this 20 hours a week, say 20 hours a week for say 50 weeks of a year, because everybody's got to take a couple weeks vacation, that's $160,000. Those are really big numbers and can really not only change the flow of your work and your productivity, but your bottom line. And I think in a time with so much inflation, we're all looking at ways to work smarter, more efficiently, and to keep overhead to a minimum. Hourly associate is really a great solution to get that work done and grow your profits in 2023. Okay, a few best practices. When you're working with an hourly associate, of course, you want them to get the work done as quickly as they can. So if you have a template, you really should provide it for them so they can work off of your form and get it done quickly for you. Okay, you should give as detailed instructions as possible. Don't just drop something on them and expect them to read your mind. Please give very detailed instructions. Be responsive. If they reach out to you with a question, try to get back to them as quickly as possible so that you aren't a log jam in the workflow. And if for some reason you're not going to be available, if you're going to be on maternity leave or vacation, or if you're going to be in trial, name an alternate contact person at your firm. Maybe it's your paralegal or your legal assistant. That way, maybe all they need is another document or something from the file. That other contact person with the firm can get that to them. And last but not least, I'm always saying this, but try to avoid rush jobs, especially when you just start working together. Don't give them unreasonable deadlines. Give them enough time to get their work done and do it well. If you need to talk about an hour's adjustment later on, you always can, but you don't want to put undue pressure on them and unrealistic expectations. So again, I see hourly associate as a fantastic tool that fits between a project and a subscription that gives you a flexible way to get a lot of work done in an ongoing manner with a dedicated hourly associate, and to pay them by the hour when you have work to give them, and when you don't have work to pass on, it doesn't cost you anything. So this is just one more way that I feel like we at LawClerk are really committed to helping you succeed and helping you get more work done, because again, like we talked about at the start of today, we know you're juggling a lot of things as an attorney, managing your firm, managing your business, and managing your life too. So LawClerk, every attorney that signs up for an account with us is matched with a LawClerk advisor. If you have not yet connected with your advisor, I definitely encourage you to do that. They are all just fantastic. They are hardworking, very knowledgeable. Every advisor works with a couple hundred attorneys across the country. So they see other ways attorneys are leveraging our talented freelancers and having a lot of success and making more money, and they can help you do the same. So definitely, the next time your advisor emails or calls, make time to connect with them and rely on their expertise, because they're fantastic. If you have questions beyond that, or if you're not sure who your advisor is, you can always reach our support team, support@lawclerk.legal. Of course, if you like learning by videos like this, then check out our YouTube channel, subscribe. We're constantly adding more things there, and there's a lot of resources there on other topics related to the practice of law, the business of law, outsourcing, of course, all that good stuff. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you to please connect with us on your favorite social media platform. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and also Instagram. I guess I need to add that one on here, but we have an Instagram account now too. It's @LawClerkLegal. So right now I'm going to go ahead and check if we have any questions from the session today, but thank you for taking time out of your busy day. Hey, I got this done in under a half an hour, so that's great. But it does look like there might be a couple of questions. So, oh, hi, Sheila. Thank you for your comment. Oh, it says chat's disabled still. Hopefully it's working. I know sometimes it takes a few minutes for you to type out a question. So I'm going to kind of hang out and see if there are any questions. But if you don't have any questions, go check out lawclerk.legal, log into your account, play around with hourly associate, maybe post an opportunity, see who you can connect with. And we can't wait to hear how it is going to work for you and help your firm this year.